That's awesome. Did you go to school for marketing?
No, I'm actually still in high school. I don't
Well,
I don't
fuck
tell
me.
I don't tell everyone that, but
Jesus, man. Well, then kudos to you in spades, man. I was like, this guy just graduated from college. Like,
hope everyone is having a great day, and don't forget, if it makes sense to you, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. Hello everybody, what is going on guys? I have an exciting video for you today. It is a sales call or a sales meeting. I had a meeting with a potential client over Zoom and I tried selling them. Like again, if you guys aren't familiar, my niche is real estate. 18-year-old SMMA owner trying to scale and document my journey here on YouTube. By no means do I make the best videos. I'm still editing everything myself and I don't really have too much time to go in and edit my videos, but I just try to throw everything up on here for you guys, for myself to look back at and just to document my journey. And if I can motivate one person to start some sort of business or their financial journey, that is a win to me. But without any more being said, only 3% of you guys are subscribed, so if you could smash that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. Hit that noti bell, drop a like, just anything, just interact with the channel. It would mean a lot to me. But we're going to go ahead and hop right into this meeting, and then I'll talk to you guys after the meeting. But yeah, there's a lot of, if you guys have any criticism, drop it down in the comments because there's so much I can improve on. But enjoy. Hello?
hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Perfect. Let me turn my camera on real quick. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Awesome. All right, so I didn't have the honor necessarily to speaking to you before hopping on this meeting, really, but I believe my assistant had contacted you via email.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, that's how I got this set up. Yep.
Yep. Oh, awesome. Yeah. So essentially, what I'm going to do is just kind of run over everything we do, our services and stuff, and then you can just kind of make an executive decision and we'll get into it.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, so first off, I just want to say thank you for taking your time to have this conversation today. It's the last thing you had to do, so the last thing I want to do is waste your time. I just have some questions for you to get to know you a little bit better so that we can make sure we're the best fit for you. So just experience, how long have you been in the real estate business or been a realtor?
Sure. So I've been licensed in New York State for 6 years now. And before I was a licensed agent, I was also investing for about 10 years.
Oh wow, okay, awesome. So, and then your current strategy that you're currently doing to get your leads, clients, transactions, etc.
Most of my lead gen for sales specifically is actually through cold leads from StreetEasy, which is a subsidiary of Zillow. That's where the majority of my current sales volume has come from.
I was just actually I had a meeting yesterday with someone from New York as well, and I think they used StreetEasy as well. Do they take some sort of commission off of those leads?
They sure do. It's basically like paying for a referral system.
Okay, that's what he was complaining about. He was just saying if we wanted to do this, he would have to go through StreetEasy or something and make sure it lined up with his contract. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Already,
Interesting. Yeah, and StreetEasy is a major, major player in New York. Zillow is
yeah,
obviously
that's what he was
nationally.
saying. Yeah, that's what he was
Yeah.
saying. Alrighty. And then just your motive. So obviously, I mean, you said investing for 10 years, you've been in the game for a while. So just kind of what's your motive to do more, do better? Essentially, yeah, what's your motive to do more, I guess?
Motive is to increase my annual revenue and create a much more consistent mid to high six figure income stream.
Absolutely. I like that. Alrighty. So we're going to go ahead and hop into it. I'm just going to be rambling on, trying my best to keep your attention. You feel free to interrupt me at any time or jot down some
Sounds
questions for
good.
the end, and we'll go ahead and get started. So, a bit about me. My name is Mason. I'm the owner of Amass Estate Marketing. I'm currently working on investing in real estate, and my main motive for starting Amass Estate Marketing was to help others while building something to remember along the way. I'm not a big believer in something for nothing, so I intend to help real estate agents along my journey, and that's what kind of sparked the idea for the whole thing.
Cool.
So a little bit about the agency. Mass Estate Marketing is a full solution agency that helps real estate agents generate more clients and transactions through Facebook advertising, email marketing, AI technology, and Instagram account management. We develop custom done for you ad creatives, lead forms, and use effective advertising tools to target the area you work in to achieve your goals. And then healthy relationships is just a big one with us. We just feel like we should be able to communicate like normal people, whether that be on text or on call. And that's just something we like to share because a lot of people like that.
Cool.
So why work with us? The no-brainers. We offer a variety of cashback guarantees. So we only make money when you make money. Very, very simple concept. There is no reason we wouldn't want to get you the best results possible. So if we don't, it is by no means on purpose, because you're only going to pay us if we're doing what we said we were going to do and beyond. So we're going to do our best to make you money because that's the only way we make money. I mean, we know that. So we just want to put that out there. We have optional weekly meetings that you can schedule completely according to your calendar. So no matter how busy your schedule is, you just take a look at our calendar. Anytime that works for you, someone's going to be there. And then we take on the task of marketing you, which means you get much more free time to do what you do best, which is close clients. One thing that a lot of our clients really hit on when we say is like, you got into real estate. Essentially, a lot of people get into real estate just to talk to people and sell real estate. A lot of them don't even realize that you're going to have to work so hard and focus so much of your time and money on marketing in a sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why people never move out of state and try to go to different locations, because they're like, I know so many people here that'll call me first, rather than going to move to a big city and really trying to make it there. They'll stay in their hometown or something because they just know people, referral, word of mouth, and stuff like that, and it stops people from making that big jump.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly do we provide? Because we've just been kind of dancing around it. Our big thing we spend the most time and money on is Facebook advertising. They're always changing the platform because the last thing they want people to do is really just get that pinpoint down, how to get the least interaction for their dollar. And under that is just ad split testing. So I'll get into this real quick as well after this slide, so you're not just completely don't know what we're talking about. But then custom ad creatives, made for you lead forms, and hyper ad targeting. That all comes under our Facebook advertising. And then new AI technology, crazy stuff happening in the AI space. So we're using it to work with our email marketing, our lead nurturing, and our newsletter. So just coming up with the context, the copywriting, and stuff for that. So it just allows us to put out more volume using AI. And then Instagram account management is 2 to 4 pieces of content a week. We think it's really important to be able to stay relevant on at least some form of social media. So we offer this. So why Facebook ads? It's a simple concept. Again, 2.7 billion monthly active users. I mean, that's just crazy. So the people in your area are going to be on Facebook. It's just a given. And that number doesn't really mean much for real estate agents. So like you can say that stat to e-commerce or something, and that's like amazing. But you guys you're stuck down to a certain location. So that's where targeting options comes in. We need to be able to target someone strictly based on their location, their interests, demographics, etc. We don't want to be targeting, there's so many people in New York, but we don't want to be targeting someone that's not looking for a home, an investor looking to sell, or anything like that. So targeting options is huge, and they're generally more affordable. A lot of people get the bad first impression on Facebook ads because they try to do it themselves, and they end up throwing a lot of money down the drain, and then they never want to come back, or they never want to give it a second look. But when you really know what you're doing and you're able to just really make sure you're getting them demographics right, split testing your ads and taking the best data, it's generally one of the most affordable forms of advertisement when you know what you're doing. So here's an example of our ad split testing. This is Jacob. So what we would do is take 2 of our ads. So we'd take 2 ads for you and we'd run them at the exact same time with the same budget, but we would target different areas and we would use different interest and demographics and stuff like that. And then we would take the data that worked on one of the ads and then the data that worked from the other ad and make essentially like a third ad that has all the good data and none of the bad data. So like on the left ad, let's say the targeting worked really well, but on the right ad it didn't, and vice versa for the interest. We would make a third ad with all the good data, and that's what our split testing is.
Interesting.
And then here's just some more creative examples. So essentially what we would do if you decide to move forward with us, we would just share Google Drive with you, and any pictures you get of maybe you just had a weekend where you went out to dinner, open house, something, You throw all that into the Google Drive, and that would be the same thing for like our Instagram account management. So we would just have this Google Drive link together. Any pictures,
Hmm.
color patterns, anything you want us to work with would go in that Google Drive, and then we do the creatives for you. So like this last creative, Jacob didn't have to do anything. He sent us those pictures to a Google Drive, and then we did the rest. And then same with the house. He just sent us these pictures of this house to a Google Drive. We did the rest. So essentially just saving a lot of time. So our follow-up email marketing slash nurturing, we do this a little different than a lot of other people. So let's say this top lead right here is ready to work with you now or within like maybe the next 3 months. You would completely take on that lead. They don't want to talk to us, and they're ready to work with you. So you would take on that
Hmm.
lead completely fine. But let's say you're doing a lot of volume and your phone is just blowing up, right? With people that don't even need you for 6 months to maybe a year, you could opt those leads over to us, and we would nurture them ourselves, and so you wouldn't have to. And then when they're ready to work with you, we push them your way so that you don't necessarily have that full inbox, and then that's completely optional, but we will nurture up to around 25 leads
Okay.
if that's something you plan on doing. And then there's just some results for some ads down there at the bottom.
Cool.
Yeah, and then so Instagram account management, essentially the biggest thing we're doing is just throwing good captions below the pictures and popular hashtags at the time. Because, like I said, I mean, it's going to be your images from that Google Drive we share with you. Obviously, you're going to tell us, like, hey, I want these posted Saturday at 2 or Thursday at 1. So you tell us the schedule. But other than that, really all we're doing for that is just making sure you're on a consistent basis of posting those pictures with actual engaging captions and like the emojis, which is crazy, is like people won't read a paragraph, but they'll read like 5 lines with like an emoji at the beginning of it. It's like
Yeah.
that short form content, which I'm sure you know.
100%. It's very interesting.
Yeah. And then so we make it super easy for the whole process just to get started. So let's say you wanted to work with us, what we would do is we would shoot you over this Notion board, and it's a complete onboarding process, and everything that says not started, we would just slowly check off the list. So phase one, service agreement, that's just the contract. Invoice, that's just the payment. And instead of those things saying not started, they would say in progress or done. And then once we're all the way done
Hmm.
with phase 1, 2, and 3, essentially you're done talking to us other than those weekly meetings. So we're completely out of your hair. You can get it done in the first day if you really want, but 2, 3 days shouldn't take any more than that. And then you don't have to talk to us again other than those weekly meetings, or just maybe shoot us a text of like campaign budget once changed, just something like that. But
Sure.
you don't have to talk to us at all after that's done. And then so after, here's an example of something that you might see under phase one, account access. So it is just step by step how to exactly give us access to your Facebook business settings and your Facebook business account and your
Hmm.
page, your pixels and everything, because it's super difficult to really navigate that page. So we just want to make it as simple as possible. So that's just like an example of something you'd find under one of those pages, just complete step by step how to give us access to make it super simple. Because the onboarding process is essentially your first impression, obviously other than this meeting, but it's like a first impression of how smooth is this process going to be. And so we really want to make that a smooth process for you. And then there's
Hmm.
videos under there as well to just, like I said, step by step make it easy as possible.
Nice.
And then all we need from our clients is just to be understanding. Once we get clients, it's now up to you to close your skills and close them. Like I always say, is like by no means are we offering magic. Like you guys know that. So,
Hmm.
and then we just need you to understand that we're not promising results overnight again. But the longer you work with us, the better the results will be. It's just a given. And then we're a fairly new agency. We understand we have a ton of room to grow, but we are confident we are going to grow exponentially. And the thing with us is that let's say in the future we were to want to raise our rates, anyone that we're currently working with is at their rate. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
So what are you thinking?
So I would love to know, obviously rates are going to play a big part in the
Yeah,
question.
100%. Yeah.
Um, when you guys are creating the content and doing Facebook posting, is it simply going to my business page? It's social media management for Facebook and Instagram, correct?
Yep, correct.
Awesome. And then when you were looking at the leads and the contacts there, where are those leads being generated from, and how are you gauging whether they are warm, cold, active 6 months, 12 months in that pipeline?
Yeah, correct. So what we would do is, so they're generating from Facebook. Mainly, is it's going to be that Facebook ad. That's that lead form that we showed with doesn't want to work with you with 6 months. That slide,
Uh-huh.
that was Facebook. And to determine whether they're warm or not, is they would immediately go to you, right? And then you're going to talk to them, and maybe they'll say, "Hey, I want you in 6 months," and then that's when you would determine. We're currently not using any software like Go High Level. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that's a
As a CRM,
platform.
right? Go high
Yeah,
levels of
yeah.
CRM.
Essentially, it has a CRM built into it. Yeah, and so we're currently not using a software like that. So instead of it going through like a funnel step or a CRM, something like that, it would just get shot straight to you, and then you would outsource that to us if you wanted.
And if I outsource that client to you, what do you do to nurture them through that next 6 months?
Yeah, so what we would do is we wouldn't want to take their number, so we would probably take their email and put them on a newsletter or an email list, and then just keep up with them, and then make sure you don't lose them. Like I said, that would be completely optional because where a lot of our clients' heads is at is like, if I give them this client, are they gonna lose them? Right?
Hmm.
So that's a big thing, and that's why we say it's completely up to you because it's going to be like our system. So we're going to throw them into an email list, and then our nurturing is going to be shooting them a newsletter once a week saying things to do to your house as the weather gets warmer, and then it's on the side it's going to say like top agents in your area, and then you would be on that list essentially. So something like that.
Okay. It's saying top agents in my area, so it's also providing other agents' names on my newsletter that's going out to them.
So it could have some of our other clients. So what we like to do is only work with 3 clients in a certain area. So in Indy right now we have 2 clients, and he tried referring us one of his friends, and unfortunately we had to say no because we don't want to push out the same leads to our client, right? So we don't want them battling for the same leads. So when we say top agents in the area, if you wouldn't want anyone on there, completely fine. Obviously, understand that top agent in your area, not top agents, and then it would only essentially be
Hmm.
people we're working with. It wouldn't be any random people in the area. Yeah, good question.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand what the workflow and the value add is here. So I employ you guys, and your day-to-day operation is taking content that I'm providing, photos from listings, calendars, and things like that, like calendar events in the community, and generating social media posts that are then going to go out through my pre-existing profiles to my network, correct?
Yeah, correct. So here we can get into this next slide. It'll be our guarantee and our rates and everything like that, and I think that'll help some a lot of this up for you real quick.
Great.
Yeah, so right here, over on the right, you're seeing a blue package. It's essentially like a get to know you type of thing before jumping into the company and making that decision. So it's just a $75 one time fee. That's 4 weeks you
Uh-huh.
get with us. And then all we would be doing for you is the Facebook advertising, and then that would come with those creatives and the hyper ad targeting. And then that comes with a minimum ad spend of $245. So we're asking you to spend about $8 a day to do that. And then that we're guaranteeing 15 plus leads guaranteed, and if we don't meet that, we'll pay you $100. So you'll be making $25 with that package, and then the ones over here on the left are the retainers.
Gotcha. Um, Define lead for me. Is that 15 interactions, 15 people who are actual buyers, 15 likes, comments? What are you guys defining on those Facebook advertisements as leads?
Yeah, so for the 15 leads, that would be essentially anyone that fills out a lead form. So over on the left, you'll see on the same line as the 15 plus leads, it will say motivated client rather than leads. So the leads are kind of level one of a funnel, right? So leads can be anything. And then when you narrow it down to motivated clients, so leads are just anyone that fills out the form, and then motivated clients are people that have said that they want to work with you within a certain period of time.
Okay, talk to me about that form. Where is that integrated? What is it asking? What is it collecting?
Yep, so that's on Facebook. As soon as they interact with an ad, it's just going to say talk to Michael, fill out this form to contact Michael. It's going to be email, phone number, full name, and then they can opt to call you after they fill out that form, or just wait for you to contact them. So that's just their that lead form is just full name, email, and phone number.
Okay, great. And the Facebook ads are obviously, um, yeah, that's so it's not just social media content. It is actually advertising myself, my services as an agent.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Yep.
interesting. Do you guys have anybody in New York yet?
We do not currently have anyone in New York. Like the our last meeting was last night with a
Hmm.
guy named Lucas, and he said, like I said, he had to talk with his company to see where everything was at. So currently, we are not working with anyone in New York,
Interesting.
and we're based out of Indiana. Currently, we're based out of Indiana.
Cool.
Yeah, so I could shoot you a screenshot of this because it's kind of a lot to look at, or if you'd like me to do a little run over, but I'll shoot you over a screenshot of this so you can dissect it a little bit.
Let's see. 8 week minimum, 8 week minimum, high value, higher value. Yeah, feel free to shoot that over to me to digest a little bit more. Minimum
Yeah,
ad
I'll go ahead
spend.
and show you this real quick. So right here at the bottom, this is we're getting our ad
Uh-huh.
spend. So for the 350, that comes out to a 1250 a day, and then right here as well. So that 560 comes out to $20 a day, and then for these up here in the highlighted. So if you sign the contract to work with us for 6 months instead of our 8 week minimum, so we work on 8 week minimum contract. That's what that means
Uh-huh.
at the retainer of that price every 4 weeks. And so if you were to go with this and saying you want to work with us for six months instead of the 2 month minimum, down here is what you'd save in those packages. So for the red one it would be 5, and then the orange it would be 1200. So that's just what that means to help you out with
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah. So,
And then those are the
yeah.
services, yeah.
Okay. And so that comes with the Facebook advertising, lead form, custom creatives, custom targeting, account management with 2 to 4 pieces per week. Uh, what are you guys using for your email marketing right now?
So we're using MailChimp. If you know
Cool.
what that is,
Yep.
MailChimp.
So basically, I would just be giving you access to my MailChimp subscription with my newsletters, and basically the service that I'm paying for is for you guys to actually purchase or to build and create the newsletters, correct?
Yes, yes, correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that does go towards that.
How are you guys going from, so what do you, I guess, on the newsletter side of things, what AI tech are you using to build the newsletters? Where's the value add on that AI in that?
So it's mainly just the copywriting. So saving as much time as possible. Obviously, we had to go in and personalize it. We're not gonna just send out like a completely AI generated newsletter or email. We have to completely personalize it because you lose that human touch. Like a lot of people know, especially because realtors are entrepreneurs. By no means are they outdated or in any sort of tech. I mean, they're always trying to stay up to dated. And if they
Mhm.
know that there's no form of personalization, they just like don't even care to look at it. So it would
Right,
just
of
be
course.
for a lot of the copywriting, and then we would go in and personalize it.
Okay. Who's providing, am I providing the content for it? Am I saying here's a two listings that I'm working on, here's some featured property, here's a calendar of local events. Am I providing all of that stuff to you guys?
Yeah, yeah, you could. Anything you want in there would go into that Google Drive, and we would use that for everything. So, yeah, like I said, if you were like, hey, I want this, I had an open house over the week, I got a couple pictures, I want this to be my next Instagram post. Like, all stuff like that, or I want this to be on my newsletter. So, yeah.
Okay. Um, cool.
Yeah, so I'm going to shoot you over a screenshot of this. Because by no means do I expect you to make a decision right now.
All right, no, I appreciate that. I'm interested in how you guys are, how do I phrase this? Quantifying the 22 nurture leads coming from I'm looking specifically at the higher value package from the newsletter. Those are What are you guys doing to nurture those specifically? If we're sending those newsletters, they are being nurtured. That is what's happening. And then if they're interested, they're hypothetically reaching out to me, shooting me an email. When you say will nurture up to 22 leads, explain that to me, please.
Yeah, so how we can go back to this slide right here. So that top lead like is ready to work with you. So let's say they interacted with the lead form or there was an email and an email marketing they interacted with and they're ready to work with you now. Obviously, you're going to want to take that client on. You're not going to want to put them on a list or get rid of them. So what we would do is only nurture the leads that are not ready to work with you within 6 months to a year, that they've said like, hey, I want to work with you, I'm going to need you in 6 months, and then you can opt those leads to us if you would like, to just kind of like free up your inbox.
Right. What I'm trying to get down to is when you say you're going to nurture them, what are you doing? Because so far we've talked Facebook, Instagram, and email marketing. So I'm wondering once a client identifies themselves as wanting to be nurtured through one of those three outreaches, what actions are you guys taking to actually nurture them?
Okay, yeah. So they could choose between a few options. So it would be email or SMS. And what we would do is send them like a newsletter or an email a week on a schedule, on a timer, and then, or an SMMS a week. So it would be like, hey, don't forget about agent Michael, or on the email list, it would be an email, hey, don't forget that you wanted to work with Michael. Or we would just put them on that newsletter list. So if they individually wanted something other than not to be on that newsletter, I think if that's kind of what you're saying is like you don't want them to be on the newsletter because they've already admitted to wanting to work with you, then we would just put
Well,
them
so
on.
in your price breakdown,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just in the wrong field. In your price breakdown, part of the benefit of the nurturing, okay, email marketing is separate from the nurturing. You're saying that you're
Yeah.
going to
Yes.
use
Correct.
AI to nurture 22 leads.
Yes. Correct. So it's like those timers and those SMMSs are going to be AI automated.
Okay, who's creating, what is the nurture campaign? What is it saying? How is it directed? How is it customized?
Yeah. So they're going to know that they're not talking to a real person, essentially. And it's just going to be one message a week or one message a month of us just saying like, don't forget that you wanted to do this with Michael. Or like I said, we have like our client in Indy is just has us throw his clients that he doesn't want to work with on that newsletter. If that makes sense.
It does make sense. Nurturing and value add for clients is a really, really competitive space to be in right now because, especially in New York City, there's so much um, knowledge overload and so much interest. And so, um, the social media and newsletter stuff is all very well and good, and I'm sure you guys would do it much, much better than I would. And I don't do Facebook ads right now, so I'd be interested in that. But that nurture, that special touch, I feel like there's a disconnect there in terms of being able to go far enough with the individual clients and nurturing them to me is sending them a specific piece of property that is appealing to them,
So that
sending
they
them
would
a
be
message on a
interested in.
holiday that says, happy whatever from
Okay,
your
yeah.
local agent that adds value to them. Because obviously, the other stuff, the weekly newsletters that they're already going to be getting, they're already, that is just the ongoing nurture that they're already going to see. So
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out if there was a
Like
more
that
personal touch in
personalization
those.
is what you're saying. Because
Yeah.
like yeah, because they're gonna have a much higher chance of taking that action when they know that it's targeted for them and that you're almost going out of your way to make that for them. So I get what you mean by that.
Yeah, yeah. A client who gets, hey, don't forget about me is going to forget about me because they don't want to hear that anymore
Yeah,
from me.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um, Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Um,
think we would just touch that up a little bit. I really like that because no one's actually said anything about that, and that's almost like a no brainer in a sense to really just add that sense of personalization. So like whether that be like you tell us, hey, I just had this conversation with this person, they're in this type of situation, and then we could personalize the nurturing that way. I think that would be good.
how
Just a
does
little
the AI
background
work
info.
for you guys in terms of those messages that are being sent out?
So it's just on a weekly timer. Like it's
And what
just
content, this the big thing with AI right now with chatbot and everything else is that they're being able to write and communicate and create language at a human level.
yeah.
So who is giving them the content or thing that they are producing? It is producing. That's terrifying.
Yeah, so it's just a we're not using a personalized like chat GPT like bot. It's just the same message. So okay, let's see. I should have a screenshot actually on here to show you. So what it is have you ever used Facebook's Messenger bot before? Where someone will say, hey, I'm interested in this, and then the bot will automatically respond to the person as
Yes.
they're texting
Yep.
through.
Like they have a
Yes.
lot of customer service things like that
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah,
They're
so it's
like,
something like that.
interesting. Is it an interactive bot or is it just a weekly ping to say, hey, you know a real estate agent, don't forget about him?
Yeah, no, not reactive. It's just the it's on that weekly ping, like you said. Yeah,
Interesting. May I ask how long the this agency's been open?
2.5 months.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, when we said we are a fairly new agency, we meant it. Yep.
Listen, I'm asking some tough questions for a couple of reasons. Obviously, I want to make sure that my money goes to the right
A hundred
place, but
percent. I understand
uh,
that. It's only
I
making me
also
better.
started a business the month I graduated from college, and so I'm 37 now, and I just want to give you kudos. I don't know how old you are, but obviously it's a new venture, so kudos for jumping in and
I
doing what you're
appreciate
doing.
that. I appreciate that a
Um,
lot.
I'm gonna give you a little bit of the hard truth too. You guys have a really good start. What I'm seeing here doesn't really work for what I'm seeing to be competitive in a New York, Manhattan luxury market.
Yeah.
Where my clients, if I'm pinging them and they're getting nurtured and things like that, I like they want that human touch. If they're feeling like it's automated, I'm going to lose them. And I know
Yeah.
that you said that this is really more about the long-term nurture and the long-term touch. Um, which makes sense. And honestly, just some of the questions that I was asking you right now, as you said, I think you guys have a lot of stuff that you can grow and
Yeah. Hundred
build. And
percent.
this is like, honestly, I hadn't thought about it before. The idea of an interactive AI bot pinging a client of mine and saying, like, hey, here are a bunch of new
Yeah.
listings. Are you interested? Great. Tell me what your criteria is. Awesome. Here's a link to search results. Like,
Yep.
that
Yeah.
stuff's got to be a lot more. That would be really hard to develop, I'm sure.
Yeah, and a lot
But
of the services like that are super expensive. So
yeah,
we really hope to just invest everything back into the company in terms of services like go high level, like I said with that CRM and just really being able to connect on that level with your team and then your clients are right there with you with that CRM. So yeah, stuff like that. Just those services being expensive is the only bad part, but
how big is your company right now? How many of you guys are working on this?
so it's me. I do the outreach meetings and the advertising, and then we have one other outreach member, and then the assistant that you spoke with on the meeting. So three currently. I'm the only one doing meetings and
Cool.
the advertising. Yep.
And do you have all three of your agents in Indy right now?
So I'm based north of Indy, past Fort Wayne. I'm not sure if you know where that is. And
I
then
don't. One of
our
my best friends is from very close to Indianapolis, though. I think she's maybe an hour west of you guys. But anyway, no, I don't know the area too specifically.
Yeah, no, so we're just based north of Indy, past Fort Wayne. It's the second biggest city in Indiana, so we just say Fort Wayne, but we're about 20 minutes past there as well. So, yep.
Okay, cool. Um, Have you guys done any venture capital funding for anything like this? Or are you guys grassroots, just out of pocket?
Yep, completely out of pocket right now. Just taking anything retainer from clients to just kind of throw back into the company. Pocket.
Interesting, man.
Yep.
Um, I would love to mull this over. I have lots of thoughts and questions. It's a really, really interesting idea. Um, what markets have you guys been targeting and why?
So, what markets have we been targeting to get it? Like, why did I pick New York
Yeah.
to try to get? Okay, yeah. So, my assistant, kind of assistant, his name's Ola, he's just a buddy, but he essentially just does the email marketing and picks whatever he wants. I'll pick any state I want. It's really random. It's not necessarily like we go into a growing market to find an agent that's excited for the market that's going to come. It's pretty much just all random. And whenever we
Mhm.
get that, yeah, I'd like to hop on a meeting, we just hop on that meeting because we're brand new and we're starting out. So anything essentially we're willing to work with. So yeah, not targeting any area specifically for our
Cool.
client base. Yeah.
Guerrilla marketing, email blasting. I get it. I get it. You guys got to get out in front of a lot of real estate agents because
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
it's
then
not a tough it's a tough industry and a lot of us are. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of people out there who don't really know what they're doing and won't give you, honest critical feedback that's
yeah,
important because these are the types of services that we need right now. Like, no lie, this is a great product for you guys to be building. Um, you're in a very competitive sphere because what I was
yeah,
thinking, to be totally honest, is I'm looking at this and going, how much would it cost me to just sub all this stuff out to Fiverr?
correct. Yeah, I could see that. Because
You guys have a
there's
lot of competition. Like,
yeah, because you'll see a lot of like people like us. Obviously, I'm watching content all the time of like people in my industry, and what they do is they'll just build the website, build a presentation or whatever, and then they'll find someone on Fiverr to go, someone that is graduated in marketing or something, and they'll just outsource it to them for $100, and they don't do any of the work themselves essentially. And
yeah,
so we're trying to do all the work ourselves and not outsource the work because we want to know how to do it and actually have the skills. It was the big thing for us. So yeah.
that's awesome. Did you go to school for marketing?
No, I'm actually still in high school. I don't
Well, fuck me.
I don't tell everyone that, but
Jesus, man. Well, then kudos to you in spades, man. I was like, this guy just graduated from college. Like, I'm looking at the little picture. All right. Listen, that is good for you. Just
thanks, man. I
do it
appreciate
because
that.
man, you get this rolling, you get some cash flowing. If you go to college, wherever you go, this is just going to be awesome afterwards. Listen, here's what I want to do. I see we've got 3 minutes left, and I've
Yeah,
actually got client calls to make because that's what I do. Um, Send me your information. I want to look over this. I want to digest it, and um, I'm going to see if I feel like there's a way for me to work any of this into what I'm doing, my workflow, and whether there is or whether there's not. Uh, if you're open to it, I don't want to like force myself onto you, but either way, like I've been doing this business for a long time. I've owned multiple companies in the past. I would be more than happy to even just be a sounding board or a resource for you.
yeah,
Because again, you're
absolutely.
getting into a competitive space, and I love, absolutely freaking love that you are in high school and doing this. This is awesome.
I appreciate that. So yeah,
So
I'll shoot you over that info. I'll shoot you anything else you want. So I'll shoot you this slide right here, so you can double check and look over that. And then so I think the best thing for us honestly is just because you said you're not running Facebook ads, and then that's all that this is. So you could see kind of how it is to work with us, and then we could get your Facebook ads rolling. But other than that, yeah, this would just take some researching and figuring out if that's something you need from us. But
that sounds
I
great. All
I
right, I will
appreciate
watch
that.
for that email. And yeah, keep
Alrighty,
getting after it,
thank
man.
you.
This is great.
I appreciate your time today, Michael.
Yeah, of course. Have a good one, Mason.
You as well.
Bye.
Shoot, bro.